12-year-old Filipino Elvis shocks everyone on AGT 2025 face screaming in fear. Microphone. Simon Cowell can't believe his ears. The crowd was restless that night at America's Got Talent 2025. Lights flashed, cameras rolled, and the massive X signs loomed above the stage like guardians of destiny. Then, out from the shadows, a small figure stepped forward, a 12-year-old boy from the Philippines named Eli Santos. Dressed in a slightly oversized leather jacket and clutching a cheap, worn-out mic, he looked more like a shy school kid than a star. The audience murmured curiously. One woman whispered, "He looks so nervous," but Simon Cowell leaned forward, intrigued. "What's your name, young man?" he asked. Eli's voice trembled. "My name's Eli. I'm from the Philippines. And what are you going to do for us today?" Simon continued. Eli took a deep breath. "I'm going to sing Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love." The judges raised their brows. A Filipino kid singing Elvis? This was either going to be awkward, or unforgettable. The music began softly. For a second, the boy froze, his hands shaking. Then, with a voice so pure it felt like honey and heartbreak woven together, Eli sang the first note. The crowd went silent. His tone was deep yet fragile, carrying a soulful echo of a time long past. It wasn't just mimicry, there was emotion, sincerity, and something almost spiritual in the way he sang. Every word seemed to come from somewhere beyond his years. His eyes were closed, his face filled with longing and hope. It was as if the spirit of Elvis had been reborn, not in a superstar, but in a boy who knew what pain and love meant too soon. By the time he reached the chorus, the entire room was frozen in awe. What no one knew was the story behind that voice. Eli grew up in a small fishing village in Cebu, raised by his grandmother after his parents died in a storm when he was only 6. His father, a karaoke singer in local bars, had been the one who taught him the songs of Elvis. Every night before bed, his father would sing, "Wise Men Say," as a lullaby. After his parents passed, Eli never stopped singing it. He said it made him feel like his father was still with him. His grandmother used to tell him, "When you sing, Anak, sing from the heart. The world listens when you sing with love." When Eli got the chance to audition for AGT, his entire village came together to help. A fisherman sold his old boat motor to pay for Eli's flight ticket. His teacher helped him fill out the online forms. Even his neighbors donated coins wrapped in plastic bags just to help him get a new pair of shoes. "You're carrying all our hopes with you," his grandmother told him as he boarded the plane. Eli didn't understand then, but standing on that stage, singing his heart out, he finally did. Back in the theater, the last note lingered in the air like a prayer. Then, silence. A full 5 seconds of stunned disbelief. Simon Cowell slowly stood up, his eyes shining. Heidi pressed her hand to her heart, whispering, "Oh my God." Then the crowd erupted, cheers, claps, tears. People stood on their feet, chanting his name, "Eli. Eli. Eli." Simon finally spoke, his voice thick with emotion. "Eli. I've heard a lot of Elvis covers in my life, but I've never heard one like that. You didn't just sing a song, you told a story." Tears streamed down Eli's cheeks. "I just wanted my dad to hear me," he said softly. That one sentence broke the room. The audience wept. Simon blinked hard, trying not to. He reached over and slammed the golden buzzer. Gold confetti rained from the ceiling like a dream come true. Eli dropped to his knees, covering his face, as his grandmother, who had traveled with him and was watching from backstage, rushed out, hugging him tightly. "You did it, Anak," she whispered. "They heard you." In that golden glow, the story of a small boy from a faraway island reached millions across the world. The video went viral overnight, hitting 50 million views in a week. People called him the Filipino Elvis. But what touched hearts wasn't just his talent, it was his humility, his gratitude, And the love that poured through every note. In interviews, Eli never talked about fame. He talked about kindness. He said, "I just want to sing for people who feel alone, because music made me feel less alone." Months later, when he returned to his village, he brought with him not trophies or money, but instruments for the local school. "If one kid here can find hope in music like I did," he said, "that's enough." His story became a symbol of how far love and community can carry someone. And somewhere deep inside, he felt his father's presence again, soft, warm, proud. On the night of the AGT finals, before walking on stage again, Eli looked at Simon and said, "Thank you for believing in me." Simon smiled back, "No, Eli. Thank you for reminding us why we do this." When Eli sang again, the world didn't just hear a song. They heard the echo of a boy's heart, of a family's love, and of a dream carried across oceans. And as the final applause thundered, the message became clear: greatness doesn't always come from fame or fortune. Sometimes, it comes from a small boy with a big heart, singing for love, not for applause.